Discipline is the root of all good qualities. But you have to absolutely apply it to things outside of just waking up early. It's everything. It's working out every day, making yourself stronger and faster and more flexible and healthier. Discipline is eating the right foods to fuel your system. It's about disciplining your emotions so you can make good decisions. It's about having the discipline to control your ego so your ego doesn't get out of hand and control you. It's about treating people the way you would want to be treated. And doing the tasks that you don't necessarily want to do, but that you know will help you or help your team.
The Marines have a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And that's just real. At the center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline. You know, something as simple as food and eating. It's not about your body as much as it is about your mind. It's getting command of your mind to be able to choose actions that are in your own best interest. Every day we are choosing shit that's not in our own best interest, right? So if the world is attacking you and the world wants to fight you and the world's trying to hold you down, so you're gonna kick yourself in the balls? So you're gonna stop yourself from getting what you dream. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
Well, I think the one thing that discipline definitely does help you with is it helps you get things done. And when you get things done, when you actually do things, you have more success. If you have more success, and sometimes a big part of success is just not being lazy and just doing it. That's like 90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start working. Like, you're not gonna feel perfect every day. If I only worked out when I felt good, I'd be a fat, because there's a lot of days I don't want to do it. It's pretty much the same with everybody that actually gets good at something. There's got to be those days you push through, and they're probably going to be more numerous than the days you don't. And so the benefit of discipline in my eyes has always been that through discipline I get things done.
Facing your fears. It takes discipline to face your fears so you can conquer them. And that's what discipline is. Discipline means taking the hard road, the uphill road, to do what's right for yourself and for other people. It's so often the easy path that calls to us to be weak for that moment, to break down for that moment, to give in to the desire and the short-term gratification. But the discipline will not allow that. The discipline calls for strength and fortitude and will. It won't accept weakness. It won't tolerate another breakdown.
99% of people that say stuff are not willing to do what it takes to make their dreams come true. Self-discipline is the center of all material success.
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside.
If you're an excuse maker and you say you want, the money, the girl, the car, the boy, the dream, the whatever it is, how many ifs and what ifs and fearful stories are you telling yourself to keep you stuck in the comfortable cage that you're in?
Well, excuses, to me, are the common denominator of failure because they paralyze us. When we give an excuse, it really rationalizes a mistake. when you give an excuse, either it's because you didn't do something you should have, you did something you shouldn't have, or you made a bad choice, or you would never use the excuse in the first place. So every excuse is, in essence, you wrapping your arm around acknowledging your own mistake.
People who make excuses are living in the dark and they cannot see. And in that darkness, they make up excuses. And when you make excuses, you get nowhere. Your whole life stops. Right at the excuse. It stops, nothing else happens.
The moment you make a big investment with your time, with your energy, or with your resources, your money, your protection mechanisms and patterns will show up in the surface, right? And you start freaking out. And when you're in that heat of the moment, that tension, there are two ways you can respond. Either you're gonna be an excuse maker or you're gonna be an action taker.
One thing we cannot do is make excuses for an adult. So a lot of times we get in a situation where we set standards and the person we're with refuses to elevate to those standards. And then what we do, instead of upholding our standards, we start making excuses. And we make excuses and we find things that tell us it's okay. And subconsciously, we are believing those things and we are accepting those things to be true because we fear the unknown. We fear leaving and having to start all over again.
How do you stop making excuses? This is actually pretty simple. And I said it the other day, and you have to realize, you have to know, you have to accept that all your excuses are lies.
How do I stop myself from thinking negative thoughts or doubting, or when I'm pulled toward thinking about that can't work, how is this going to work, and start doubting? Well, the answer is you need to get the ball of energy, the positive ball of energy, bigger than the negative ball of energy that you've been establishing your whole life. And that's pretty huge at this point.
Whatever the case may be, people will say anything because they're not winning at a game that they want to be in, so they're looking for an excuse. Don't fall into that type of behavior. It's easy to do, it's easy to make excuses, it's easy to give up, but when you do that, all you're doing is leaving yourself to be bitter, angry, and without anything that you actually wanted to have.
When you make excuses, you get nothing done. You're just going in a circle and nothing is really happening. And you tell yourself how busy you are, but yet you're not that busy. You have that time to do the things you really want to do that don't mean a thing. It doesn't mean a thing, and you get those things done.
Stop making excuses. Stop embracing other people's excuses. Stop believing things that absolve you of any responsibility for your own life. Because the reality of the situation is, it just leaves you bitter, broken, and without anything that you actually wanted.
Stop being an excuse maker and start being an action taker. How? By investing in yourself. There's nothing that will reveal more about your character and how you show up for yourself and for the people that you love better than how you choose to invest.
The excuses are not valid. They aren't. They're trumped up. They're conjured up. They're fabricated. They're lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. The truth. The truth will set you free. The truth will stand, and the truth will deliver you from procrastination and laziness and the downward spiral that comes with a lack of discipline.
Lack of focus, a lack of the ability to concentrate is one of the best ways to waste a lot of the time you dedicate to studying.
The research says we spend 2.1 hours a day in distraction. And it takes 21 minutes to refocus your focus after you've been distracted. Your environment is so important. And if you look at B performers or C producers, they really don't pay a lot of attention to their environment. And so they get very distracted. There's lots of noises, their phones are going off, maybe there's news in the background, maybe there's messy environments all around them, maybe there's toxic people. What I'm suggesting to you as the second piece of technology to really 100 times your productivity is this: install environments of tight bubbles of total focus. So if you are being distracted by notifications, checking your phone, checking your Twitter feed, checking your Facebook feed, looking on Instagram, checking all the different platforms, that is going to destroy your focus.
Stop procrastinating. Focus on your goals. When you focus on what you want, what you don't want automatically leaves your life. Don't focus on eliminating anything. Focus on creating what you want. So you're either going to spend all your energies eliminating what you don't want, or you spend your energies creating what you want.
In order to keep focused and keep moving, you first of all have to have a goal. If you get in your car, you have a destination. If you don't, you just drive around in circles. And unfortunately, more than 80% of people, maybe 90%, just drive around in circles in their life. They drive to work and they come home and they watch television and they socialize with their friends. But when you have a big goal, that acts as a motivator and it helps you to focus on the one thing. Then you ask yourself, what one skill will I need to achieve that goal? What one skill will help me to achieve the goal more than anything else? And then you go to work and you study every single day to develop that skill. Remember, all skills are learnable, and you can learn any skill you need to learn to achieve any goal you can set for yourself. And then you do something every day to help you to achieve the goal. 7 days a week, and never let yourself off the hook. Napoleon Hill, after a lifetime of studying successful people, wrote a book called The Master Key to Riches. And the whole book was a very, very good book, but it said, soon you will know what it is, soon I will tell you. In the last paragraph of the last page it says, the master key to riches is self-discipline. It's the ability to make yourself do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. And so that's really the key. Make a written plan, organize the plan, set priorities, and then do something every day until you're successful.
Plan. It sounds so stupid. I mean, sometimes giving advice is embarrassing because it's so obvious, but I could sit here and literally give you the details of 11 different famous studies that talk all about the fact that people that take the time to write out a plan and write down 2 or 3 things that they're going to focus on, that they actually have between 30 and, depending upon the study, 60%, they're more effective at getting it done.
Right.
And one of the reasons why this is more important than ever is because you work in such a distracted work environment.
Specify your damn goals, because how are you going to hit something if you don't know what it is? That isn't going to happen. And often people won't specify their goals too because they don't like to specify conditions for failure. So if you keep yourself all vague and foggy, which is real easy because that's just a matter of not doing as well, then you don't know when you fail. And people might say, well, I really don't want to know when I fail because that's painful, so I'll keep myself blind about when I fail. That's fine, except you'll fail all the time then. You just won't know it until you've failed so badly that you're done.
I'm going to challenge you. Stay focused on your goals. And if you don't have goals, write your goals. Where should your goals come from? Your goals should come from your vision. Where should your vision come from? Your vision should come from your purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, you're not going to have a vision. If you don't know what your vision is, you won't have the right kinds of goals. And so that means that you're going to be busy like the rat in the rat race. And your next year is going to look like your last year. One of the greatest enemies of fulfillment of purpose is procrastination and broken focus. If you start now and you say 365 days from today's date, this is what I want to accomplish, and you do one a day, Paul said, focus. This one thing I do, I'm focusing. You do one a day. At the end of 1 year, you will have made 365 steps towards fulfillment of purpose.
What you want to be tomorrow, you've got to do today. I've never met a person who was not successful that didn't have a great amount of self-discipline within their life. Self-discipline and being able to perform and being able to keep your life on schedule and being able to keep commitments and promises and meet deadlines is essential to success.
Well, I think the one thing that discipline definitely does help you with is it helps you get things done. And when you get things done, when you actually do things, you have more success.
I have freedom because I have discipline. I have financial freedom because I have financial discipline. I have more time. I have more time because I have the discipline to get up in the morning, before most normal people get up.
And I think normally when we talk about the word discipline, we usually probably think about eating and exercise. And those are important areas, but discipline affects every single solitary area of our lives. We have to discipline our mouths, we have to discipline our thoughts, we have to discipline what we do with our money, we have to discipline ourselves concerning entertainment. Every area of our life requires discipline and self-control.
Now, I often tell people too, fix the things you repeat every day, because people tend to think of those as trivial, right? You get up, you brush your teeth, you have your breakfast, you have your routines that you go through every day. Well, those probably constitute 50% of your life. And people think, well, they're mundane, I don't need to pay attention to them. It's like, no, that's exactly wrong. The things you do every day, those are the most important things you do. Hands down. All you have to do is do the arithmetic.
In areas of choice, you need to work on your weaknesses. For example, let's say I'm lazy. That's an area of choice. I'm not naturally lazy, I'm just lazy. It's a choice. So I need to work on that because in areas of choices, you can make vast improvement and you can make fast improvement. So I think, for example, a person can maybe increase their giftedness skill set maybe 2 numbers.
Wow.
So if I'm a little bit above average, I'm a 6. If I really work hard, I can become an 8. But an 8 is powerful.
Yeah.
8 has a huge return. So what I tell people is in areas of giftedness, that's where you have to work on your strengths. If I'm a 2 in something, I'm very weak in a skill. If I worked hard, I could only become a 4. I'd still be below average. So what I tell people is, you got to ask yourself, is it going to give me the return? So in the area of strengths, you got to pour yourself into the things that you're already good at because that'll really set you apart from average.
Yeah.
But in areas of choices, go for those weaknesses because don't you know people that are highly skilled but they have a lousy attitude or they're not self-disciplined and they're never going to get anywhere, and they're not going to get anywhere because they didn't. So in areas of choices, work on your weaknesses, but in areas of strengths and skills, just work on your strengths.
So that's what it's all about. It's about being committed inside of here. Not when the lights are on, not when the crowd is cheering, but what do we do when no one's watching? That's a lifestyle. That's not an event.